has many, many wares. May your feet find good trails.
How are you? Safe travels.
Open your heart to the light.
Can I help you? Be careful.
Talk to me! Glad I could help! Yo! Hurry back! What's up? Keep it real!
Why is it doing that? Is it because I don't have some sort of skinning knife? I thought I had a skinning knife.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles, like you. Farewell, friend of the Grummles.
A skin. Oh, mama.
What brings you here? A Shah fella.
Hello. See you around.
Greetings.
What are you looking for? For the Alliance. Light be with you. Be careful.
What can I get for you today? Safe travels.
Can I help you?
Farewell.
Talk to me. Be good.
Hey, Addison. I've been good, man. How you been? Been busy, but good. We're busy tomorrow, too.
May the light embrace you. Be kind to those less fortunate.
My life for the Alliance. For the Alliance.
You able to hear me okay, Addison?
Here there. Off with you.
I don't have. I didn't exactly. Oh, let me see here. If I get a little closer, maybe. Yeah, I've just been busy with life, man. Just kids and family and doing stuff, And now that we're getting close to summer, it's gonna be it's gonna get even crazier. Just a lot of stuff to do, a lot of early mornings, man. What about you? How you doing?
Hello. Farewell. Yeah, my boys are trying to. He's one of my boys is getting old enough to where he wants to play video games now too. So it's starting to get a little attitude with it. So it's like it's a constant nag fest and fighting fest. To try and limit him being on it and all that stuff. So I feel you, man. I feel for you. Try to keep it to where it's like fun games for him that are not like crappy games or something. Not until at least he's older. He's only 7 right now, so.
Where on Screen Earth can I find a vendor? Okay, this one.
Great to meet ya.
Okay.
Watch your back.
Oh, that's good, man. Sounds like you got some good kids there. My kids are buttheads. But I love them.
Of the Third War. I've waited far too long for my revenge. Where you tarry now? When the shadow of the Legion falls over this world.
Of course I'm getting that beta. Not the beta. I don't know if I pre-ordered the damn thing, of course. Because it looks really good. Kind of excited for that game. I don't know, man. I thought I'd enjoy the Division 2 more, and I don't know. I think because it's so much like the Division 1 that I have a hard time wanting to play it. Not that it's not a good game, because it's a great game, of course, but I have a hard time wanting to play it. But I really did enjoy Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's just that there's really nothing new for it. And so uh, like I would play it if there were more content for it, right? Like I would play that right now over this if there was some content for it, but seeing as how there's not, I gotta wait for the new one to come out. But yeah, I do look forward to it. Oh man, I don't know. I gotta get up early tomorrow morning anyway, so it's not gonna have a whole lot of time to be doing anything crazy. Can I get a?
Each day is a blessing.
What is all this nonsense?
Be well.
I'll see. Now that'll be nice.
Warm wishes to you.
Is the beta out already? Like,
Dionys
do I need to go?
May the light embrace
I
you.
need to go check. Oh, they got an auctioneer.
Arcanon Poros.
I don't know. Let's see if I can. No items found. Okay. $8 bajillion gold. $800. That. Neither of those, huh? Oh, that's cool. That's gonna be cool. Yeah, I actually kind of, I think, I don't know. The last one was a lot of fun because there was so much like content, you know, and moving about with the helicopters and sort of being that squad that goes in, and you know, there was a bit of a tactical thought that you had to kind of put into it. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you could go either way, right? Like you could just go guns a-blazing, or you could try to be tactical. So it was a lot of fun. So that's one that I do look forward to if to co-op on. I don't know. How much do you think I could get for this? A level 5 item, 47. Level 42. Let's go with that. Minimum of 2. Whoops. No idea what that's worth. Let's what does this one do? See if I
May
can
your
go back
days
and
be
sell.
long and your hardships few.
Okay, I still need a goddamn vendor. Yeah, so there's Wildlands 2, which looks good, and then the demo for the
The Naru have not forgotten us.
what was it,
Remember the lessons of the past.
what's the new video that dropped for that new Modern Warfare 4
the
or
light
whatever it is? That
embrace
was
you.
pretty damn good. That was about.
Blessings upon you.
So that'll be interesting to see what this
Welcome. Browse at your leisure.
What the hell is a freaking vendor? Just need a general vendor. Don't need any of those those guys.
I hope you
Really
find
killed
something
better, didn't I?
useful. May your days be long and your hardships few.
Akal Hekta. What you need, man?
Enemy proving grounds.
Hey there. See you later.
Maybe you're out here on the outer ring. Just need a general vendor. Oh, that's right, these guys. I totally forgot about these guys. They still
Remember.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
just do that. Is this that Paris Hilton still? Is she still here? Here she is. Harris Pilton.
The eternal sun guides
That
us.
shit is hilarious. Oh. Sure. I'll take a 22 slot bag. And a 24 slot bag? Sure. Where'd that go?
Salama Ashalanore. Glory to the Sindorai.
Equipped flashy black diamond. Okay.
Stay the course.
What you seek.
So have they set a release date at all for Wildlands, or I didn't see. I saw the demo, but do you know off the top of your head? Come on, how fucking hard is it to go? Quest log is gonna be full here in a minute.
Good day to you. See you around.
Aha.
What can I help you with?
Nope. Son of a bitch.
Light bless you.
Good day to you. Have a good one.
You son of a bitch.
Greetings.
There we go. There we go. It's getting fun. Get rid of that.
Strength.
Okay.
Hello. See you later.
Got all this stuff.
Right, many things. Lock to
Mooncloth.
Greetings, man.
All that nonsense.
Spirits be with you, man.
Alright. Let's head back. More scales. $20 slot. Ooh.
Good fortune. Do not lose faith.
Warm wishes to you. Safe journey.
Did I say BFS?
So you're just playing WoW, huh?
Yeah, I don't have that much. I don't have that much time. I gotta get up early. So I don't know how long I'll be on for. We gotta get up early and we gotta go do stuff. So such is life, right?
Yep.
What about you, man? What are you up to?
None.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Quantico tomorrow to help clean up.
Gonna go where?
To Quantico, the we're gonna go to the cemetery there and help clean up.
Oh, okay.
After the Memorial Day stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, they lay out a bunch of flags on the
Yep.
tombstones, and so they need help cleaning up tomorrow. So we got to get out there bright and early.
Join.
Yeah. You can take the boys, go out there and clean stuff up.
Part of the VFW doing that?
No, this is part of the church.
Oh.
But I am streaming. Anyways, what have you been up to? Anything?
No.
When was last time you guys played the Division?
Omaner and I played Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I can't seem to want to get into it. You know, like it's a great game, but it's so much like the Division 1.
Yeah.
That it's just like, you know. Like it's just.
You're bored with it.
I'm bored with it. You know. And I don't know. I mean, I know it's a beautiful and it is a fun game and everything. Whoops. Man, I cannot bring myself to get into it just yet. You know, and I do want to try out the raid and everything.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen is like the raids are insane. Like they're really tough. Like it took people. I think it's taken people like a couple of weeks just to beat them.
Wow.
Right, like to figure out how to beat them. Because they're saying something like there's so much. It's not like I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking it was gonna be like, but I guess. I guess it's a lot tougher than I thought.
We haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just been working on getting world tiers leveled up.
Oh yeah, what tier are you now?
3.
Oh okay. What does it go up to?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
5 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know, man. I just get bored of these games quick. You know what's funny is they've got a classic version of World of Warcraft coming out, and I like because it's, you know, this game has been out since 2004, right?
Yeah, it's very old.
Very old. It's been out since 2004, and it's gone through like massive fundamental changes, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the original players have.
You mean like Leroy Jenkins?
Like Leroy Jenkins, all those guys, right? Like they all have just kind of really wanted to return to class. They don't like what, you know, has become of the game.
Yeah.
And so they've all kind of wanted to try and or they've all tried to. Well, in a couple cases, they stood up their own instances.
Yeah.
Of the game, of the old version of the game, like when it first came out, and they would run private servers doing that.
You got to be careful with that stuff, though.
Well, they allowed them to get away with it, right? Because I think they sold the original source code with the servers on it or something, so people could emulate it.
Yeah, but I mean, people are gonna put malware in it. And
oh yeah, I'm sure, but some people are gonna be legit with it.
Maybe.
And so there was a couple of servers that used to run. And you know, there would be there was a North American server, a European server.
Yeah.
Pieced together 5. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to get this. But yeah, so anyway, so there was like this. I don't know what happened. I think WoW came along initially, then Blizzard came along and shut down those private servers for some reason. I don't remember the reason why. So then some of the actual developers or one of the actual developers, lead developers of the first game, Purified Meat, that's what it is, got like a petition put together of, I don't remember, like 100, was it 100,000 signatures? Was it 100,000 signatures? Yeah, it was probably like 100,000 signatures. Of people wanting them to bring it back. Like they said, well, since you shut down all the old servers, why don't you stand up a WoW Classic? And I guess a lot of people chimed in saying, yeah, they'd love to see what it was like when the game kind of first came out.
Back in the old
when it my day, right? So
when I was a
shit.
kid.
That fucking thing is this thing. I hate this goddamn thing. This I'm running around. I don't know if you're watching the stream or whatever, but I'm running around in this old zone, huh?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I'm running around in this old zone where like these giant robots, like massive fucking robots, just run around, and I just remember so many times that thing would just come running up on me and kill me, just out of the blue, because they moved quick, right? And you just be sitting here trying to do your thing. Next thing you know, you just get one-shotted by this fucking robot. Anyway, so they're releasing it. They're releasing WoW Classic servers at the end of August, right? And I've got to admit, like I've actually been playing this game since 2004. Like me and Omar started playing this, I think maybe a month after it came out. Initially came out, and then so I know that there's gonna be a lot of headache in that old game because there's a lot of like creature comforts that they put into the game.
Yeah.
Right, to make it a little bit more, however you want to say it, a little
easier,
a little easier, yeah, a little easier, little comfort, little things, right? Like little tweaks here and there. But I gotta admit, man, like I've been watching the beta testers do their thing with the WoW Classic, and it was cool because they had like a lot more features when it came to like the customization of your character. Right, like now it's very just kind of, I don't know how to say it, kind of almost cookie cutter. Like you just don't get as much flexibility in your choice to sort of hybridize and really pick and choose and kind of come up with your own character. You just kind of get a few choices, right? And in the end, it doesn't, that even the few choices that you do get don't really matter because there's only really one right choice if you want to get the best out of your character, right? Like you can get a few, you could try to variate, but it's not going to be very good, in as far as like customization. So really, in the end, there's only one right choice. But with the old stuff, man, you could really get crazy with it. So I gotta admit, man, I gotta admit, it's just don't really want to fuck around with a 61 mage, not really. Let's see if they leave me alone. So yeah, I've just been watching. It's just I don't know how it's gonna work out because you're only gonna release a certain version of it, right? And it's not like it's gonna grow. It's not like they're gonna develop for it because they have
They're just gonna put it out.
Yeah, they're just gonna put out version 1.
Yeah.
Right, and then like again, what's gonna happen? It's just gonna have to stay, right? Like it's just gonna have to sit there at version 1. They're not gonna be able to continue it. They're not gonna be able to develop upon it because it's just like, why would they do that, right? Like why would they sort of try to enhance or even because it's like they developed the story as is in the current format of the game, right?
Yeah.
For them to go back and try to redevelop the same story but slightly differently with the characters, you know what I mean? It's like I don't think they're gonna try to, you know what I mean, progress a story sort of driven game, but then have two branches of that same game. One branch is like sort of, you know, the easy mode, and the other branch is the difficult mode for the other players. Like, I don't know that they're gonna do that. You know what I mean? So I think once it's done, it's just gonna sit where it's at you know, like a version 1.2.
Yeah.
And then stay there.
Yeah, they won't fork it.
Yeah, so it's just like I want to play it and I want to see what it was like, but I don't know how like sustainable that is. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting.
No doubt.
Anyways, I'll tell you what though, I have kind of been itching to want to play a little bit of GTA 5. Like there's a part of me that just wants to fuck around, you know, get into some trouble. But
yeah.
What is it, like a 90 gig download?
Oh, is it? Oh, you uninstalled it?
Yeah, I don't have enough room to be fucking around with all that.
Yeah, I still haven't installed.
Oh, you do? Yeah, it would take me forever. It took me like.
I have it for the PS4 too. Yeah,
I'm. But again, I put all that in the Beck character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the PlayStation character, or the PC character.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't want to.
You don't want to give it up.
Well, it's like when you put into, you know, all the work into one spot, and it doesn't exactly go cross-platform.
Yeah.
Right. Then it's just like, ugh, you kind of get tied into that platform. You know.
Yeah.
So. I am. What the hell? Why is this guy so tough? Anyways. Anything else going on?
Nope.
How was your Friday? Did you have a good Friday?
Yeah, same old shit.
What is it? It's almost June, right? Do we have any word? I mean, keep it to a minimum, right? Do we have any word on anything happening in June?
No.
Okay. So still waiting for things. Still.
Yep.
Out of my. Okay.
People are still walking around going, I don't even know what we're called anymore.
I know. It's kind of funny.
I don't know where I live.
It's like, do I even have a job anymore? Or yeah, whatever. Typical shit, right?
Yeah.
What the heck? Oh. Yeah, so today, since I had the day off, man, spent the whole day, like, reorganizing the garage.
Now that you can get 2 cars in it?
Well, we could always get 2 cars, but I remember I sold. Oh, did I tell you I sold the Mustang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got rid of it. So now it's just Linda's car now.
Oh, and you can get just Linda's car. You can't put the truck in there?
I don't know. No, I don't think the truck will fit height wise, but not length.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no way. So, you know, poor old Bessie's got to sit outside, right?
Yeah.
And so we knocked out a lot of room, which was nice. You know, now it actually looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
You
need to put some hooks in the ceiling and hang.
We got
up there.
I've already got that. I've already got the ceiling storage and everything. So
you're becoming far too domestic.
I know, right? It's a sad state of affairs.
It is.
Yeah, but it was nice to get it done, right? Because now, like, we had some shelves there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where everyone's crap kind of went. The community shelves almost.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of shitty. It looked kind of bad. And there was like a bunch of crap stacked up in front of those shelves.
It was craptastic.
It was craptastic. And so it was always kind of a pain in the ass to try and find my tools because it was covered in all her gardening shit. Right? Right? And all my tools were under everything. And so anyways, I was like, she wants to get an additional fridge. So we're gonna do that.
Like a chest freezer outside.
Yeah, but like an actual fridge.
Oh.
But like an old crappy fridge, right? Nothing special. And so
just get a chest freezer.
Well, I said that. I mentioned that. But she doesn't want like a freezer. She wants an actual fridge. Like she really doesn't need the freezer space. She needs more refrigerator space, you know. Anyways, so we're gonna get it. All right. So we made room for it all. I took one of the shelves and I moved it to the other side, which was nice because now that shelf is open. You know, there's not a bunch of crap in front of it, so I can see at least my stuff. Right. I can at least see my tools, and I don't have to like dig under a bunch of chairs and pads and fucking gardening shit. Anyway, so.
As long as you know where the WD-40 is.
Well, I know where that is at least.
Your equipment in working order then.
Yeah. Well, it was like my mini buzz saws or my brake kits and stuff like that, but nothing major. Anyway, so we got that. We got that knocked out. Now we got to find like a cheap ass old fridge that we can stick in the garage.
I'm sure the church will have a bazaar or something.
Yeah.
You'll be able to buy one.
I think she's just gonna look on like some of the Facebook groups that are around here. Cause there's like some big Facebook.
Craigslist.
Well, yes and no, like I guess because there's like some Facebooks for like the local people around here.
Yeah.
Right, like they're very local Facebooks because Craigslist gets very regional. Right, like Northern Virginia. But it doesn't get down to like a neighborhood, and so she's a part of a bunch of neighborhood Facebook pages that are like close by. And so she can find some she's actually found quite a few good giveaways, So she almost found one. We did find a fridge yesterday. God, that was a long ass quest. But it was too big for what she wanted, so we ended up passing on it. But we'll find another one. What was I going to tell you though?
When you coming out this way again?
Actually, it's funny that you say that, right? Because now that it's getting summertime and the boys are going to be home, I kind of just want to leave. I kind of just want to come into the office so I don't got to listen to all that shit all day long.
You're a horrible person.
I know. I'm bad. It's just because they're just gonna be up my ass all day, and it's gonna be so hard to get any work done.
Yep.
Right, and it's just like I kind of want to come in and get away from them. It's like almost taking a mini vacation away. Cause they just like they're so into it now that they fucking fight so much. It's so funny. Cause they're so like I don't know how to explain it. They're just so pig-headed.
Can't imagine where they get
I know, it ain't from me. It's not from me. I'm a sweetheart. But I don't know how to explain it, man. They just they like to
what's the saying? When you're dead, you don't know that you're dead. And other people feel the pain.
Sure.
The problem is, it's the same thing when you're stupid.
When you're dumb.
You don't know that you're dumb.
You don't know you're dumb, and everybody else feels the pain.
Unfortunate to our friends.
That's actually spot on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty. I mean, I love them, but my God, they just like they've hit this stage now where they're so annoying. Why can't I? I'm trying. Like they just because
like father, like son.
You know, they want what they want, and so they nag the shit out of you for it all day long to try and get what they want. It's just like a constant fight.
So you're raising a couple of snowflakes.
Oh God, I just want to beat the shit out of them. But well, and then what happens is when they don't get what they want, they you know, they want to fight you.
Of course.
And then when they can't fight you for it, they decide
fight
to
each other.
Fight each other. Right, and that's the pain.
Yep. Yep.
Right, and it's just it gets annoying quick because they will both do whatever they can to try and get on each other's nerves, right? Like if Jake really wants to, you know, he'll do what he can to try and get on his brother's nerves when he's really trying to, you know, I don't know what do you call it, poke the bear, I guess, right? So it just gets quick. I don't want to beat him. It's just yeah, it gets hard
because they're such pains in the butt sometimes.
You know, and Jake, like I said, Jake's starting to get a real teenagery attitude. You know?
Has he started with the whatever?
Almost, man. Like it's getting there.
Talk to the hand.
Yeah, it's getting there, man. He closed the goddamn bedroom door on me the other day.
Ooh.
And he locked it.
Oh.
Yeah. I almost broke that door. I put a hole in the door because I got it flashed, right? Like I was like, "You locked the fucking door on me," and I flashed and I hit that door and I put a hole in it. So now I got a fucking hole I gotta repair.
Yeah.
I was like, "You don't lock the fucking door on me." I was like, I almost ripped that door off the hinges. I was trying to talk to him, but you know, he wants to be a little brat. I'm trying to tell him, I was like, you know, because a lot of it stems from him and his mom fighting a lot too, because they're both stubborn, right? They're both stubborn mules, and I was just gonna be like, look, you gotta listen to your mother. I was trying to talk to him, but he was working everyone's nerve that day. He yells back, you know, no, stop it, stop yelling. It's just like it's just aggravating.
Am not R2, am
yeah,
not
all that shit.
It's hilarious.
I mean, there's parts where I'm just laughing. I'm like, man, that's hilarious.
You should be putting it on YouTube, man. You make some money.
I know. I should. He's a big butthead. That's kind of embarrassing. That would be kind of embarrassing. Oh, mama.
Well, you'll be happy to know I ordered a new chair for you.
Oh, you're the one in your apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I mean, you didn't do that just for me, did you?
Well, no, the one here is kind of shitty.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say one more good squat and that whole side's gonna pop off.
Yeah, it's in bad shape. So
yeah.
I ordered a new one. It should be here in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was there the other day, but they were saying that like that desk that I use that I squat in.
Yeah.
Because I was squatting at your place because somebody said that they put a big old printer in that area, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just, you know.
Yeah.
Since they're using it now for something, some sort of plotter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't have a place to squat. But then somebody said, oh, well, they moved that out, so I don't exactly need to use your spot right now, but. But if I do, it's nice to know that I'll have a new chain.
That's right.
My ass kicked. It's always funny because like I'm leveling. Like you remember you played a little bit with me.
Yeah.
I'm leveling a dude up, right? Just kind of going through like the old content, you know, like this, because again, this game has been out for so long.
Yeah.
They've gone through several patches, right? And so I'm effectively going through what would be like 2.0 content. You know, they're up to like 8.0, right? They're up to like 8.0, whatever it is right now. And so, more shattered armor. Anyways, but I've decided to do it in player versus player on.
Oh.
Right? And so, I don't know why. Like, I'm okay with getting ganked. I'm okay with like people just jumping. You know, like while I'm out and about, if they're around my level.
Yeah.
Right, but for whatever reason, there are these. Cause like, let's just say right now I'm level 66, right? And there are these level 120s that are running around that just want to come and wipe everyone out. You know, and it's just, I mean, it's funny, but I was just like, why? Why are you? I mean, I guess if you got nothing else better to do.
Go back, watch the South Park episode.
Yeah, true. The guy that just sit there and fucking killed everyone. Yeah, that's true. He had nothing else better to do. You raise a very valid point.
Yes, I do.
I don't know. It's just funny, and but it makes it interesting because I'll just be like, doo fucking around, you know, and the next thing I know, like, oh, I'm dead. Kapow, I'm dead. Like, Sword of Truth just came out. What was it called? Sword of what?
I think Sword of Truth. I think it was. Yeah.
Or something like Sword of Truth, or sort of like 1,000 something. I don't know, whatever.
Sword of 1,000 Truths.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just get fucking hammered. I'm like, why are you?
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth. No, that was the game. Yeah, that was the game. That's what it was. That was the Stick of Truth game. No, what the hell was that sword called? I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, it's just, it makes it interesting because it's just out of the blue, somebody will just jump my shit. Like, oh,
yeah.
I asked for this. I mean, it makes it fun. It makes it a little more interesting, you know? There's a little bit of an edge to it, I guess, right?
Yep.
Other than just running from place to place. Puts a little more challenge to it, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. It's just
got a Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. Hope for the best, right? Yeah, because like what I've noticed is, there's that guy. What's funny is every kind of area that you go to, right, has a city. Sort of a tiny little city that you can go to.
Yeah.
And, you know, think of it as like a faction area, something like that, some sort of faction. Right?
Yeah.
And so
the Peggies or the...
Well, so what they'll do is like somebody, you know, here I am, I'm level 60. You know, as I've been leveling up, you know, when I was level 20, level 30, level 40, right? I'll be going through the zones, and every one of those zones, you know, for those particular levels, there is a city, and for whatever reason, there's just some horde motherfucker there, like one of the guys on the other side. They just come in, and they kill everyone in the town. They just run around and they nuke everyone down, kill everyone. You know, it's like no city is left. There's got to be it's crazy because there's got to be a bajillion cities, but there's got to be enough players. I don't know, you know, I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird that there's always somebody in some city that just decides to come around and wipe everyone out in that low-level city, you know? It's just
when my nephews were younger,
Yeah.
They used to play a lot, and so I had a free account for a while.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
and I was online with them one day, and they're like, "Yeah, we need you to go into this area and warn everybody that we're coming."
Just tell them we're coming.
That's right.
That's funny. So what did you do? Run for the hills.
Look at the teeth.
Look at the bones. I told you. I told you. Run away.
That's right.
That shit's hilarious. I told you about that ending that they did with Game of Thrones, where they were like, it was you remember when Tyrion goes up to the
oh yeah,
castle,
yeah.
and they juxtaposed.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah, I was like, I much would rather have seen that shit than the original show. Did you see that Kit Harington had to go into rehab?
No.
Yeah, dude, he checked himself into rehab.
For what?
I don't know. Maybe you know what? I have no idea. Maybe just too much of the bad press, or not the bad, but maybe too much fan backlash. I guess I don't know. Maybe he took it personal. If I were him, I wouldn't take it personal. That's nothing to do with him.
I know.
That's 100% the writer's fault.
There's an hour-long special about the making of Game of Thrones.
Did you watch that?
I did. I watched it, and there's a sequence in there.
Does it make you more mad?
Well, it was. They were doing a table reading.
Yeah. I saw the clips for that.
And you know, they revealed that Jon Snow kills Daenerys.
Does he start crying?
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
He had to push his chair back from the table and, you know, put his head between his legs because he was gonna throw up or something. He's like,
what kind of?
Really? Are you kidding me?
Do that? Maybe, I don't know. See, this is the thing about actors, man. They're just so goddamn sensitive. You need to just quit. It's fucking. Who didn't see that coming a million miles away with this horrible, shitty ass writing?
Yeah.
Remember the lesson.
Everyone saw it coming. Every time I was watching somebody that was talking about it, like, yep, probably John's gonna have to kill Dany because Dany's gonna lose her batshit crazy thing, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I was not pleased with the way that they made her suddenly
go fucking crazy,
lose her mind. Yeah, and just. I mean, I understand they're trying to fit everything into an hour episode.
Well, that was their own fault, man. They decided that they wanted to. HBO, George R.R. Martin, all of them said that we'll give you more seasons if you want to go. But those two douchebags that wrote that shit wanted to get out of there, grab their money, and run so that they could go start on that fat, juicy Star Wars check. The problem is, now the Star Wars movie's going to fucking suck ass too because these two clearly can't write for shit.
What Star Wars check?
They're writing the next 3 Star Wars movies.
The guys from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, the D&D, David and Dan, whatever the douchebag and douchebag. The Ryan Johnson fucked up the story so bad that nobody wants to watch Star Wars anymore, so they canned his dumb ass because all he wanted, his whole goal, Ryan Johnson's whole goal from the Last Jedi movie or whatever it was to just shit on Luke as much as possible. Like he was like, I don't like Luke. I don't like old Star Wars. I want to write my own Star Wars, and I want to make it girl power movie. And so he did everything he could to shit all over Luke Skywalker because he didn't like Star Wars. He didn't like Star Wars fans, and so everyone hates the movie now. And he doesn't understand why. He thinks it's because men are a bunch of sexist pigs or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Disney decided to hire these two douchebags who were just like Ryan Johnson. And so the next 3 movies are going to be just as fucking bad.
Favor the road.
Because like it is 100% night and day difference.
I thought the Star Wars was supposed to be a trilogy of trilogies.
Who knows
so
what they're doing?
There's only one movie left.
Yep. Well, this last one, I forget who it's done by.
Unless they're doing like a parallel universe or something.
I don't know. But who cares?
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones all over again.
Yeah.
Even with even with the Star Wars that's coming out, it's Game of Thrones over again. It's just like, what's the point? What's the point of any of it?
Yeah.
Like if nothing that you have built up in the past matters, then why do I want to get invested? If none of it is in the end, it's just girl power, and then okay. So why do I care? I don't. So give me like a good arc. Jesus, make it a good story or something.
We'll give you a good arc right between your ears.
It's just fucking stupid. Like you had, like, again, Game of Thrones, right? You had the 5 books to go off of, and when they had the 5 books to go off of, the story was fucking amazing, right?
Yep.
Like it was there was nothing better, and you wanted to watch every episode to figure what was going to go out with all of those threads, right? Like what was going to happen with all of those threads. And then they didn't have the books to come off of, and so they just had to make shit up, and they just made up a bunch of dumb shit, and none of it mattered. So none of those threads mattered from the book, right? Same thing with Star Wars, right? You had the 3 movies to go off of, 4, 5, and 6, right? Luke, which all 3 of those were fantastic movies, right? Like the really good story arcs, right? And so when the new ones started coming out, same kind of thing with Game of Thrones. You just kind of wanted to know what was going to happen with your characters, what was going to happen, with potential story arcs, and then they came out and just shat all over them. None of it meant anything. None of it matters. None of your old characters matters, and we're not going to answer any of the questions like with really what happened with Luke. Is Luke the balance? What about the prophecy? Well, that doesn't matter anymore because we don't care because we want our own story, and we want to do our own thing, and we just want to shit all over these old characters. And so it's just like Game of Thrones, Star Wars. What does it matter? They're all shit. They're all shit-tastic movies. Or,
Have a good one.
They're all shit now. They're all crap now. Huh?
You sound like Hillary.
Need help?
What does it matter?
What difference does it make?
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, that's what they would say. Like, what difference does it make if I shit all over your story or not? Like, what difference does it make? Just like the story. Just like it because I say so. Don't like it. Yeah, fuck off. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm so divested from Star Wars now. I don't even care. You know what I mean? Like, is that a? It's definitely. Why isn't that level up? 69. Oh, fuck that! I want that necklace then. Hold on. I'm sorry. 9 elect. Oh, I want that one. I'm sorry, I was just reading. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about the stories anymore. I would like George to finish the books. I think that would be nice if he actually finished the books, but who knows? I think book 6 will probably. Did he say by 2020?
I don't recall. I know he said he's writing again,
Okay.
but he did. I don't recall him saying I'll have it finished by a specific date.
I thought he said something on his blog, 2020.
Maybe
Somebody reported on his blog that they said he said 2020. But I mean, he's had deadlines before, so what does it matter?
he's another fucking douche. So I'm not even.
I know, right?
Spend the money to buy the books.
Unfortunately, I do want to see how the books end.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that he'll at least answer some of those questions. Because again,
not a chance.
And that's what's so disappointing, right?
Well, he also said, "Well, I'm gonna follow the same story arc."
No, he said some of it will be different, some of it might be the same, but some of it will be different. I'm hoping that he gives a better answer as to the White Walkers, right? Because some people tried to say that they really did just kind of, they really did describe what the purpose is of the White Walkers or whatever it is, and it's just like, well, if you watch the show, they did, but it was so dumb that we kind of just missed it, and really the whole intent was just them to be killers. That was it. Like that.
Well, but why?
Right. I mean, well, and they just said because the children of the forest wanted them to be killers, to kill man, and so that was it. That's their simplistic answer, right? But you're led to believe that there's more because of, like, there was 2 instances where they sort of showed that their whole goal isn't just to kill every single man, right? One, but so here, let me finish, right? Because here's the thing, right? We've been led to believe that there was something more to the White Walkers, right? Like there might have been more, but at the end of the show, when everyone was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was that? Like, what was the point of the White Walkers if they were just nothing but little bitches? The people who were like the defenders of the show, well, they told you what the White Walkers were. You don't need to know, which was that the children of the forest made them just to kill man, and that's it. Right? Like that was the whole purpose.
Okay.
But
so if that was their purpose, then
why were we led to believe
they so interested in Bran?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had all of these different threads that led you to believe. At least that's what I'm saying. The books are probably going to do it, and that's why, in the beginning, when they were all on the books, anyway, I don't know, right? Because you got to think they had that contract with Craster, right. So clearly they're just not there to kill all of mankind, right?
Right.
And then there was a moment where they let Sam Tarly go. Remember, like, the White Walker looked at him and he was just cowering behind a rock, and they didn't do anything to him. Yeah. So they're just not like mindless killing machines.
What happened to little Sam?
Fuck if I know.
Oh, I mean, all of a sudden, there's Sam Senior and Gilly with no baby.
I don't know.
Like, okay, did it get killed or?
I don't know. But worst ending ever to one of the, what was one of the best TV shows of all time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty damn sad. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know. Like, there was just so many unanswered questions that, like, it felt like there could be more there in a sense. But, even though the books aren't done, according to these writers, nope, that's it. Just, whatever. Like, okay. Like, I don't know. I want him to get out, finish those books, so that. Oh, come on. Sorry, because I'm hoping, like I said, he'll at least answer those damn questions.
Yeah.
Like, he'll at least arc it a little bit better so it makes sense. Like, what was the point of the White Walkers? Do they really have are they more than just mindless killing machines? Because, like I said, it felt like the way he would go in the books is that there would have to be a different method to peace with them, other than just all-out war and somebody's got to win the war, right? It felt like, you know what I mean?
It would have been so funny if Jon Snow just walked up to the Night King and handed him a Snickers.
A Pepsi can. Yeah.
You're not yourself when you.
Oh
when
yeah.
you're hungry.
Have a Snickers. Yeah. No, you're right. That would have been funny. But I mean, it just the way he had been like, the way that it seemed was that like there would have to be a different way of ending this aggression, other than one side has to lose, right? Other than somebody's gonna die. So I don't know. It's sad to see it kind of play out that way, because I feel like he'll do it differently in the books, You don't think so?
No, I don't.
I mean, there's no real hope for it at this point. I honestly I had hoped that he would be releasing book 6 much sooner.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was hoping that, because it was clear that he had sort of fallen out with the show, if you know what I mean. Because he used to what do you call it? What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Not consolidate, collaborate. He would collaborate, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the word. Collaborate.
With who?
With Dan and Dave, the writers. He would collaborate and be a consultant. That's the word I was thinking. He was sort of a consultant on seasons 1 through 5, right?
Yeah.
And that's when that's when they ran out of the book material, and after that, that's when he stopped being a collaborator, right? Because, and then, what was funny is on season 7, he dissed it a few times. He actually dissed it a few times on Twitter and stuff like that, in his blogs, and he actually promoted other shows over Game of Thrones, right? At like the premiere of Game of Thrones season 7, he was promoting different shows that weren't Game of Thrones, right? And so he had like said a couple times that he didn't like. I don't think he liked how they had written some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, what was my point?
Oh,
well, so he had
top of your head.
Yeah, he had stopped collaborating with them. I don't know, man. I just lost my train of thought.
Sucks getting old, don't it?
Yeah. I totally lost my train of thought. He was collaborating with them. He had stopped. I don't know. What were we saying before that?
He stopped consulting with them.
But we were saying that you were you saying, I thought you said something like.
Well, he said that he was going to. What I heard was that he said, well, in the video interview that they had with him, he said that he was going to follow the same story arc.
Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I totally lost it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some point after he stopped collaborating, right? Like, I guess that's when you can kind of tell. I mean, to me, that's when you can kind of tell they clearly took a big dump.
Well, yeah, it all went downhill.
Yeah, like I said, even after season 7, during season 7, he was like kind of crapping on it.
Each day is a blessing.
You know, and
whatever comes, we will face it together.
So I think it was just interesting that I think while he and even like those writers that were talking, those two dudes were talking.
Yeah.
He'd only given them like plot points, so it was sort of up to them to kind of come up with the rest. You know, the finer details, I guess. Like I think the major plot points that they may have got was like Bran's gonna become king, but who knows? Who knows how this gonna? Anyways, okay, I can't remember what I was gonna say. If I were him, and knowing that he kind of had this falling out with them, right?
Yeah.
And maybe with HBO, not so much HBO because he still is working with HBO on the other parallel Game of Thrones shows.
Yeah.
Right. But if I were him and sort of knowing that he didn't have like the best relationship with D&D, the writers, that he may have known that they were gonna kind of crap it. You know, they weren't gonna end it well, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, because that's right. Because there was a couple times where he said, "I pushed for 10 seasons, but Dan and Dave wanted 8." Right. So he probably knew in advance that they were gonna crap the ending out, and so I was hoping that, you know, he was gonna kind of stick it to them and wait until after the ending comes out and it's a craptastic shit fest. It's like one of the most hated, you know, whatever. And then he's just going to be like, well, now that they're done making a shit show of things, here's my book. Right? Here's my book, and I'll have the last one out soon, and you can see how it really ends instead of this shit show. I was kind of hoping he would do that, you know? But we'll see. He did come out and say he was going to come out with book 6 soon, so or at least by 2020. I was hoping at least he'd have book 6 ready to go, you know? Like, here's book 6, something for you to, you know, start to see how truly different, how truly veered off, either how truly veered off that they went, or how closely that they stuck to my notes. I don't know. I mean that's what's gonna that's what to me that's what's really gonna tell the difference, right? Is when book 6 comes out, how much of a difference between those two are. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's really what's gonna sort of tell the tell the tale to me of how different they really kind of went with it. Because
writing like that is fucking hard to do.
Oh, I agree.
So
I don't.
Even though he's a complete douchebag, I can't blame him for wanting to take a break.
Well, right. Well, I mean that's on him, right? Like that's hey, that's his thing. I don't. I don't think I could fathom the type of stress he's under, right? Not only just the stress, but sort of the what do you call it? I guess just the amount of pressure, right, that people are probably put on him now, especially now, right? Like the show comes out, the whole ending bombs. People now truly want to know, right? So he's got like a whole lot to live up to, almost.
Yeah.
In a sense, because
did you sign the petition?
Of course I did. Of course I fucking did. Just to tell them to go shove it up their ass. I know they ain't gonna do nothing with them, but goddamn, how could they not get that pre-screened? I don't know, man. That just doesn't make sense. How could they not watch that ending and go, "This is horrible"? Like, who in their right mind could watch that ending and go, "Oh yeah, let's do this. This will be great. Everyone's gonna love it." You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Dan and Dave, the two writers, they were in a big fucking hurry to get it over with, get it out the door. They wanted to get it done with so they could start on the Star Wars paychecks, which are gonna be big and fat, right?
Yeah.
And so they just they wrote it all up, just said, let's get it the fuck over with and let's get it out, right? So they wrote it all up, and then all they had to do was just tell the uppers, oh yeah. It's gonna be controversial. Some people aren't gonna like it. Some people are. You know, and that's all you need to know, right? And probably the execs were just like, oh yeah. It's, you know, some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. I don't think that they knew the level of like hate that they were gonna get after. But if I were one of those execs, I'd just be like, I would want to watch it pre-screen and be like, you really want to release this? Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think HBO put that much effort into it either. I think they knew they had a winning thing that needed to come to an end. And
but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're that executive, if you're one of those executives, I would think that you would really care how you go out, right? Like you want to go out with a bang, not go out and piss everyone off, right? I mean that's what I would think. But,
yeah.
I don't know. I think you'd want to like make sure that you're gonna go out on top.
Yeah.
But that's just moi.
The Naru have not
Oh man.
Speaking of pissing people off, did you see the tweet that Jeff posted the other day?
Good health, long life.
No. Why?
Greetings.
Oh, I guess he got tired of everybody asking him, you know,
where's
Bugs? Yeah. and he posted a really angry tweet and said, look, you know, I can't control what other people do with their lives.
Open your heart to the light.
You know, if you continue to ask, I'm just gonna ban you from my channel.
Safe journey.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn.
Wow.
Did
was some sort of falling out there?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they seem to get along pretty well, but
yeah, but
shit happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, Bugs has pretty much disappeared.
I know. I did go look at his channel the other day, and I was just like, wow,
and
Bugs.
You know, the last thing I heard was that he wanted to take a break from everything, which is fine. You know, take a break.
You have to. You can't do this all day.
Yeah,
every day.
Polecat can.
Yeah, but even then, I think, man, you're gonna need a break. Like, you're gonna burn yourself out real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But okay. Anyways, what were you saying? He needed a break and what?
No, I just, you know, he posted this really, you know, sharp tweet, you know, saying that, you know, I mean, I get he can't control what Bugs does, but I mean, it just came across as
really angry.
Yeah, that I mean, he was irritated that everybody was asking him about it, and yeah, it just.
Well, I mean,
it just came across as really mean.
No, I mean, hey, none of my business, right?
Yeah.
It's all whatever is, you know, whatever happened is between them, I guess, if something did happen, but I don't know. I mean,
I get it that, you know, there's a lot of impatient people out there that are just going to keep, you know, where's Bugs? Where's Bugs? Where's Bugs? and I'm sure he gets tired of it. But you got to remember that the majority of your audience are kids.
Oh yeah.
And that's what kids do is they
right.
They don't pay attention, so they all ask the exact same question.
Yep. I mean, yeah, exactly. You're gonna get this. Everyone's gonna ask over and over again. Where is he? What happened?
Yeah. How come he's not doing GTA anymore? Yeah.
Right.
How come he's not making videos anymore?
Yep. I mean,
maybe I'm just old, but I'd like to see more content from him, but I mean, I'll just sit here and wait for it.
Which one, Jeff or Bugs?
Bugs.
Oh yeah. And he did a good job.
Jeff's putting out content.
I did see that something popped up and he was like a bus driver or some bullshit.
Yeah. He's got some good flying ones that he did. And every now and then he does a karaoke, sing along with the wife and Dave. Damn it, Dave.
Oh, Dave. That's right, Dave.
Yeah, but he does tend to drink a lot.
I'm sure he's older by now.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I don't know. I mean, he's got to be making good money, right? Yes.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I mean, he wouldn't be doing it if he weren't making money at it. So.
Right. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Which does make me wonder about it was Bugs had over 1 million viewers.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I think too. Bugs
he was probably making good money. Is the guy just financially good enough that he socked his money away and can take an extended period of time off?
Right.
And not be in financial trouble, or has he just given up and he's went out and found himself a job somewhere?
I mean, I probably would be going for a job, man.
Yeah.
Just because there's no way I'd want to sit at home all day for as many hours as these guys do sometimes.
Yeah.
Playing, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the other issue too is a lot of times the audience that you built most of your career off of is off of one kind of particular type of game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for Bugs, almost all his followers probably came from GTA 5.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so that means you get like what do you want to call it? Like an actor. They get typecast, right?
Yep.
And so who wants to get typecast into the same fucking game day in and day out?
Yeah. Like Ryan has been typecast now and as the 24/7 guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but does Ryan have an entire audience?
He does. Not as big, but he does have a following.
Exactly. Do they just kind of sit there and go, well, why aren't you playing GTA 5 if you try to?
Well, he put out a tweet the other day, said, you know what, I'm taking a break from GTA 5.
You got to, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way. And I mean that hurts in the.
It does. And I mean, because Ryan's still pretty young. He's still in college, and
right.
So for him to take a financial hit like that is going to hurt him.
Right. And that's the problem is that's sort of the what do you call it, the catch-22 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You get your audience expects then you have to do it for the money because now you got a big,
or you become dependent on it.
You become dependent on the money, right?
Yeah.
So now it's sort of like being a drug addict, trying to get off the drug but you can't.
Yeah.
Because nobody will let you, and you can't because you need the money. Yep. No, I feel for him.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to remember, you're not dealing with adults here.
Nope. Well,
you're dealing
yes
with
and no.
13-year-old kids.
In some cases, yes. Some
Yeah.
cases, no. Right. I think some of these people do have, you know, a fairly decent adultish following, right?
Well, I mean, yes, they do. I mean, shit. I mean, I watch Bugs. And,
Right, exactly.
I watch
Hey,
Polecat.
we're old as shit, and we watch these guys.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, they're funny. The content that they put out is hilarious. So,
yeah.
How are you?
it's not just kids, but I think the kids are the ones that
They're the most vocal.
right. They're the most
demanding.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's only gonna be.
Polecat put out a pretty good video the other day.
Yeah.
I was laughing pretty hard at it. His best videos seem to be unplanned when he can just go out there and improvise, because he does it so well. And it was him and another guy, and they were trying to plan, they were going to go out and steal a car and then blow it up or something. And as they're driving down the street, they ran into some other guys who were riding bicycles, and one of the guys bunny hopped over his car. So he stopped, and he's yelling at this kid, and that started an entire fight. And the rest of the video was just the fight with these guys. And it was funnier than hell. I mean,
yeah. No, the him and Bugs were really good together back in the day.
They were.
And
they were. I mean, they had a good chemistry.
Well, yeah, and when they played the cops that are crooks, not cops, but the impersonator.
Yeah,
that shit was great. Like that very first video I think I ever saw theirs where they get separated and they're getting chased, and Polecat gets stuck on a building somewhere, and Bugs is running around with like a bike cop on his ass.
Yep.
Right, and somehow Polecat gets off the roof.
He fell off the roof.
Yeah, and Bugs swings around to pick him up, and as he's trying to get into the car, that cop fucking shoots him in the head.
Yep.
And they just start laughing, and that's one of the funniest clips.
Right, and all that was improvised.
Yeah, and then Polecat goes around the corner, and he tries to do
he's at his best.
Yeah, and he's trying to do that standoff with the cops.
Yep.
And the cops down him, but he doesn't quite die.
Yep.
Right, and so he can still talk to the cops, and all the cops are like standing over him. And he's like, "Are you gonna fucking help me?" And they're like, "Whoa,
come here, I'll bleed on
yeah, I'll bleed on." That shit cracked me up. That was hilarious. That kind of RPing, that kind of role playing, I've never seen that before. I'm sure it happens a lot, but that made me laugh pretty hard. I was like, wow, that's fucking hilarious. Like, I mean, it made us both kind of want to like, oh, I want to role play. I want to get a role playing server and role play.
Yeah.
But I ain't got the time to dedicate that.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's got to be a lot of work.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like those kids, that's a young man's game, right? That's the kind of game that the youngins can get into, and because they can do that, you know, when. And like to say, like a lot of the people that they run with are young, and it's late at night. So you know they got that kind of. They don't have to get up at 5. Well, they might have some sort of job, but you know what I mean.
Polecat was playing with a guy the other day, and I went and looked him up on his YouTube channel. You know, and the guy's like, 23 years old and in college still, and I'm like, damn, you know.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's a bit of a young man's game.
I wish I had that kind of time.
You do.
Well, yeah, I do, but...
Because you ain't got no kids.
Yep. That was done intentionally.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's a whole another ball game when I got screaming, crying, baby butt heads, you know, stuff that I have, all sorts of stuff that I have to worry about. It's just like, well, I don't have the time to dedicate to put in, you know, 4 or 5 hours into trying to hammer out some sort of sketch, you know, and then come up with some sort of a video editing capability or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's a lot of work. You know, you got to actually play the game.
Yep.
And then you got to render it and edit it.
Yep.
And then post it. I mean, so there's a lot of work.
Oh, a lot.
That goes into these things. You know.
Absolutely.
You know,
and like, I think that's where I think like you could make a good amount of, you know, money or whatever you want to call following from doing those kind of videos, right? But like you say, it's super difficult to do that, right? And to put all that in there, what, you know, which is why like there is sort of that. There, if you really kind of look into it, there is sort of a divide between what they call content creators and streamers.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are people who just sit and stream, kind of like me, just because there's not much else I can do. I don't want to put all the money, or not money, but
the time
into creating videos, right? Because you have to you have to play a lot. You have to save your experiences, and then you kind of have to come up with, you know, the content for that video, right? Like, what is this video going to be about?
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you just stream.
Yeah, but I mean, like I was saying though, with Polecat, some of his best stuff.
Oh yeah.
Gunplay.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and it just, you know, the guy can improvise, you know, and he's good at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, they both were.
Yeah.
And the bike riding skits.
Bugs is a little better at it.
Yeah. Those bike riding skits were hilarious. when they're riding up to just kicking the shit out of cars. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had to kind of think of the theme. Like, okay, what are we going to do today? Let's just ride around on motorcycles and torment cops. Like, well, and you know what helps, too, is they had a whole... I mean, the big part of what really helped that success is that they had a bunch of people who were dedicated to playing as cops.
Yeah.
Right? And without that, then you kind
of... What really makes it funny is that you've got a bunch of guys who are really dedicated to playing cops and play it straight.
Yep.
And then you got these two guys that come in and just wreak havoc.
Yep.
all over everything that you're doing.
Yeah. Like that was always the funny parts, is when they threw him for a loop. You know, like no, you can't arrest me. I'm not. Like what? Under what law? What law are you?
Exactly.
Like what
Show
law?
me the law.
Show me the law. Like, and they're just like, Oh yeah, those were great. What the hell am I doing here? Oh. Those were the funny moments. Yeah, especially when they stumped those poor cops. You're just like, oh, I feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, I mean, you listen to the people who are playing these parts, and some of these kids are really, really young.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. I did so what did Zwitter get a, not Zwitter, Whitaker get a the PS4 or something? Or what did he
Yeah,
do?
yeah, he bought a PS4.
Did he buy one and part it, or that was broke, or did he buy one that?
No, he bought himself one that's fully operational.
Because it looked like he was parting something out there.
Yeah, he had a bunch of other. He said he had a box full of controllers, but it was all parts, and he was trying to get rid of them.
Gotcha. Oh well.
But yeah, he's been sending out notifications of stuff that's free. Like he sent out one a couple weeks ago that The Sims 4 was free for a week.
He's our local video game GameStop news guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, is it already 11 o'clock?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I think I probably need to get going to bed because I gotta get up ass early and go to this thing. Okay. All right. So, hang on one second.
Well, it's nice that you're paying your respects to your fellow servicemen.
True. Yeah, hang on one second. Okay. I hope everyone has a good night and catch y'all later.